Right, welcome back guys. We are going to have a quick look at airframes and the fuselage in today's session. The airframe comprises the main structural elements of the aircraft which support the loads to which the aircraft is subjected in the air and on the ground. And the principal components of the airframe are the fuselage, the wings, the tail assembly and the flying controls. Okay, we are going to focus on the fuselage, the fuselage in today's session. So this is the main structure or body of the aircraft, and it carries the passengers and the crew in safe, comfortable conditions. The fuselage also provides space for controls, accessories, and other equipment. It also transfers loads to and from the main planes or wings, the tailplane, fin, landing gear, and in certain configurations the engines as well. There are three main types of fuselage construction. First, there is the truss or framework type, which is generally used for light, non-pressurized aircraft. Then there's the monocoque construction, which is mostly used in the early 20th century. And then there's the semi-monocoque or semi-monocoque fuselage, which is in use for most aircraft other than non-pressurized aircrafts here. The latter two types, so that is monocoque and semi-monocoque, are more generally referred to as stressed skin constructions. Now first let's have a quick look at the truss or framework construction. When truss or framework construction is used for the fuselage, the framework consists of light steel tubes of minimal wall thickness, which are welded together to form a space frame of a triangular shape. So these triangles, this shape gives the most rigid geometric form, and each tube carries a specific load, the magnitude of which depends on whether the aircraft is airborne or on the ground. This type of fabrication is strong and easily constructed. It also gives a relatively trouble-free basic arrangement. The framework is normally covered by lightweight aluminium alloy or fabric skin to form an enclosed and aerodynamically efficient load-carrying compartment. Examples of aircraft using this construction are the Oster J6 and the Piper Cub. You can see an example of which on your screens now. Right, moving on, let's take a look at the first of our stressed skin constructions, that is the monocoque construction. Monocoque is a French word meaning single shell, and in a monocoque structure all the loads are absorbed by a stressed skin with just light internal frames or formers to give the required shape. Okay, now with a stressed skin structure, even the slight damage to the skin can seriously weaken the structure, and so for a true monocoque structure it would have to have no apertures in it at all, so much like an egg. But of course, for practical reasons in an aircraft you have to have apertures, you have to have some openings for access and for maintenance. But these openings, of course, are reinforced so that the integrity of the structure is maintained. And of course, once the aircraft doors are closed and all the hatches and the access panels are fitted, then the fuselage is, to all intents and purposes, a monocoque structure. Okay, examples here you will see the Ford Trimotor from 1926. Alright, and with that, let's move on to our second of the stressed skin constructions. This one is the semi or semi-monocoque construction. Now, as aircraft became larger and the air loads greater, the pure monocoque structure was found not to be strong enough, and additional structure members known as longerons were added to run lengthwise along the fuselage, joining the frames together. So here a light alloy skin is attached to the frames and the longerons by riveting or adhesive bonding. Okay, this type of stressed skin fuselage construction is called semi-monocoque or semi Monocoque, of course, depending whether you are following British or American English pronunciation. So in semi-monocoque fuselages then, or semi, the longerons and the frames stiffen the skin, and flight loads are shared between the skin and the structure beneath. Okay, there are bulkheads set in place to separate the different sections of the semi-monocoque fuselage, for instance, between the engine compartment and the passenger compartment. The bulkheads have the same basic shape as the frames or the formers, but almost completely so the bulkhead completely isolates the compartment from one compartment the other. However, the holes have to be made in the bulkhead, and these allow control fittings, pipework and electrical cables to pass through the length of the fuselage. Bulkheads are usually much more substantially built than the frames because they are subject to greater loads, and additionally the bulkhead, which separates the engine from the passenger compartment, it also serves to retard the passage of fire, so to stop fire from spreading rearwards in the case of a fire. Okay, right, one example here of this structure would be the Mooney M18C. Right, a very quick look at our word list. So airframe, fuselage, truss or framework construction, stressed skin construction, monocoque, semi-monocoque or semi-monocoque construction, frames, formers, longerons and bulkheads. Okay, this is just a quick checklist about the words that we need to be aware of when we are talking about this topic right here. Now, a very quick quiz, 5 questions only. Choose the correct answer. This type of framework consists of light steel tubes of minimal wall thickness which are welded together to form a space frame of triangular shape. Is it truss or framework construction, monocoque or semi-monocoque construction? Which one is it? 3, 2, 1. Hopefully you are all shouting truss or framework construction at your screens now. And that is of course the correct answer. Good. Second question here. The main structure or body of the aircraft is called wings, tail assembly or fuselage. Hopefully you've all chosen the third option right here. Fuselage, of course, is the correct answer. Moving on to question number 3. In this type of structure, all the loads are absorbed by a stressed skin with just light internal frames or formers to give a required shape. Truss, monocoque or semi-monocoque. Second option, monocoque construction. Excellently done. Let's move on to the next question here. What does this image show? Okay, so is it a propeller, a bulkhead or longeron? This is, of course, as I'm sure you've all chosen, is the bulkhead. That's the correct answer here. So bulkhead. All right, I think we got one more question right here. So longerons and frames stiffen the skin and flight loads are shared between the skin and the structure beneath. Is it truss, monocoque or semi-monocoque or semi-monocoque? And I'm sure you've all chosen the semi-monocoque construction right here, as there are skin and structure working together to absorb all the different forces. So excellent, that was the correct answer. And we have got one more here. So what does this image show? Propeller, bulkhead or longerons? These are of course the longerons in this picture right here. Okay, right, are there any questions? Any questions or any suggestions? Feel free to write down in the comments, and thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. If you like this type of content, or if there is something that you took away from today's video, then please a like and subscribe click would be much appreciated. Thank you for your attention, guys, and have a lovely day, everyone. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.